Namaste from Dhananjaya Kumar, and welcome to the journey through the rope of quotations to reach great minds. The topic in this video is evolution. Most of us have heard of the term evolution, and we often use it in conversation. Evolution means something is changing or something is getting better. But often evolution is defined as something is not only becoming more intelligent, but more complex in organization and the mechanism and expression. So for example, if you look at the tree of life on earth, humans evolved from prior species which had many more limitations in their lifestyle, in their food, in their capacity, in their ability to create. So now that we have become humans, so we have an organized society, we live in communities, we build technologies, we read and write and study history, present and future, and have produced a lot of wonderful works in science, and we continue to interrelate, communicate, and hopefully strive to further evolve. So evolution is not only self-driven. In other words, humanity evolves, but nature has to cooperate. Sometimes nature enables evolution through two main mechanisms. Is natural selection, which means those species which adapt and are adaptable and they are capable of changing. They have a preference over those species which remain stable and don't experiment in new environments with new ways of growing. And the second method is random mutation, that sometimes a species can sideline the normal evolution of natural selection, but into a totally different branch. For example, the life forms in the sea have multiplied in different form and shape, but some of them at some point in history walked on land. Okay, so that's another branch. Or they climb trees, that's another branch. Or they begin to fly. Some crawling on the ground, some on 4 legs, and then suddenly 2 legs. And breathing and eating and multiple physiological systems. So natural selection and random mutation. But all of them are connected to previous branches of the tree of life. In addition, there is a third method has been discovered, that all of a sudden a new species unrelated to all previous ones just appears out of the blue. It's just a life form develops and it is not related. It is not a product of previous. It doesn't evolve from previous, but it's a fresh new life form. And some archaeological evidence and fossils have been found to suggest that. So with these brief comments, I will present to you a few wonderful quotations on evolution. The first one is by Ken Wilber. The distance between man and God is not all that much greater than the distance between beast and man. The distance between man and God is not all that much greater than the distance between beasts and man. We have already closed the latter gap, and there is no reason to suppose that we shall not eventually close the former. So the latter gap was the gap between beast and man that we have closed, we have become man. Now the former gap is between man and God. So Ken Wilber is suggesting that also we can and possibly will bridge that gap. So I think what he's trying to convey is that the evolution up to us humans is not the final stage. And this is what I've been trying to teach younger kids as well, that they represent the potential and hope that humanity will further evolve into superhuman, much more intelligent, much more creative, and much more in harmony within the society as well as with nature. And then the level of intelligence rises dramatically, that we totally do new things, different things, and totally change the civilization and culture. So in last few years, many books have been written on that, superhuman or meta-human. That conception is present, and that is a good sign. The next one is by Julian Huxley. Man is nothing but evolution become conscious of itself. That's a very simple but deep concept here, that when the present form of species, and we are talking about humans, when humans become conscious of itself, we are conscious of itself, but we need to be more conscious of ourselves and more conscious of our potential and our future. Then that is a sign of evolution. So when certain, millions of years ago, some creatures were not conscious of themselves, still most of them are not, except humans and a few previous life forms. And they were simply driven by nature, and unknowingly they will follow the rules of laws of nature and behave accordingly, not thinking or planning. But then they evolved, and today even ants think and plan their future, and birds, and we, of course, as humans. So man is conscious of itself, and that is sign of evolution. My hope is that man will become more conscious or fully conscious, even in dream and sleep, and not behave unconsciously in making any decisions for oneself and for the collective. Here is another one from Ken Wilber. If men and women have come from the beasts, they likely end up with the gods. I think the first quotation I read out mentions that, suggests that if men and women have come from beasts, they will likely end up with the gods. In other words, the evolution continues, and humanity has the largest potential of reaching, achieving divinity. Thank you for listening, and we'll come back with another wonderful video on great quotes reaching to great minds. Thank you for watching.